lot on this table, but there can only be one show.
MTC Beats.
It's time for the Money Mind Mastery Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? You are now tuned in to the Triple M Podcast, Money Mind Mastery. My name is MP.
My name is SB, Stefan.
And we are back.
Yes,
We're
sir.
back in action.
Yes,
We're currently in, what is this, Calgary?
What is this? Yeah, you've been here multiple times.
We're in Calgary, Alberta. Well, I'm in Calgary, Alberta. They've been here for a long ass time, but we really out here, and we got a really good weekend coming up ahead of us, don't we, SB?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Been really good, man. I can't wait for the fight tonight.
Yeah, because tonight it's Benavidez versus, how do you say it? Is it Andre or Andrade?
Andrade or Andrade? I don't know. I say both. How do you say it?
Yeah, that's why I say too. Who's the announcer? He's like, it's Andre. Then some people are like, Andrade. I'm like, what the hell? It's crazy, right? But I'm pumped, man. Today we have a really good guest, SB, man. I think you should give him the warm welcome.
Of course, man. So today we're excited to have Guillermo Hernandez on our show here. He is a pro boxer, currently at 2-0. Guillermo had his pro debut in El Salvador, winning by TKO, and has recently signed on with Roca Promotions. Really big. He's known for his aggressive pressure fighting style. Guillermo is quickly making a name for himself in the Canadian boxing scene. Again, G, welcome, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
It's an honor, brother. It's crazy because I remember when you were in fight camp,
Yeah.
Coach was like, "What do you say?"
Quick story, man. So I was doing pads with Willett. Coach, shout out to Coach Willett.
Shout out Coach
We'll see
Willett.
him this week. And he's like, he had sparring yet? And I'm like, yeah, with my my other amateur boxers in my club. Is that okay? You want to spar a pro? I'm like, what? I'm like, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I want all the smoke. I'm like, I'm not gonna say no. He's like, okay, all right, Guillermo. I was like, who's this guy, bro? I was like, yo. And then after that we went to spar, bro. But it was good, man. He, yeah, it was good sparring.
Gave you that good work, though. You know,
You're really, really fast for your size. That's all I can say. I know you're holding back. Thank you for that. But thanks for giving me all the work. And I think he needs to spar you now because I know he's always ready. He's always every time I go there, he's sparring. I'm like, what the hell? After we did like 2 rounds, he did like 10 more. I'm like, what the? So I think you guys need to spar.
No, 100%. Let's do it because I have my fight coming up March 23rd.
Oh, man, let's get it.
Let's do it. I'm down. Oh, I'm down.
Even without the fight, is it? Let's get it still.
Because like we were saying, we should have like a series where like after we have the pod, we should just spar our guest.
Yo, I'm always down for sparring.
Right?
Like you said, yeah.
Like iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
See,
Why
after
not?
we talk with our hands, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But before we get into the whole meat and potatoes of the podcast, we like to do something we call the gratitude series. We always want to start off the podcast with something that we're grateful for, right?
Sir.
I'll kick it off with what I'm grateful for today. And I'm going to bring it back OG. You ready for this? I know you already know what I'm about to tell you. I'm grateful for another day to live.
That's always your go-to.
Well, it's one of those
You should
things.
always be grateful every day.
Because, like, dude, any day above ground is a good day. That's facts, bro. That's facts. So I'm grateful every single day I'm able to wake up and do what we do. And that's facts. Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm grateful for healing, bro. As you know, yesterday I was feeling under the weather, but woke up today, I'm way better. Probably still sound a little congested, but I'm just grateful that I'm way better and, we're able to do this interview and keep going, man.
100%.
That's it.
Our bodies are crazy.
Yeah, especially the change of weather is the worst. Like, you were just here yesterday, but like 2 days ago it was snowing. Now it's 10, right?
Yeah, man.
So, how about you, sir?
Man, I'm grateful for being here with you guys on your show, and grateful for another day of life, like you were saying.
Right?
Yeah.
It's something we take for granted.
It's the little things.
Exactly. Right? Because, like, bro, you tweaked your shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, imagine not having a shoulder. I dislocated my shoulder like a few years back. I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
I can't drive like this.
Yeah. When I hurt, which one? It was this finger. When I jammed it, even though it's a little thing, man, it's like creates a big difference in your like daily
Big,
life.
bro, big. And like, if you think about it too, like your big toe. If you don't have your big toe, bro, you ain't balanced. That's the most random fact ever. But
true.
I
That is
digress,
true.
man. I digress. But let's get into the meat and potatoes here, man. We have the amazing guest G on the podcast, and I'm pumped to have you on because with everything he told me about you and sparring stories I'm hearing from people at Olympus, I'm like, bro.
We gotta get him.
We gotta get G's
We gotta
story
get him
on
on,
here,
bro.
man. Because like our big mission with Triple M's is to get more light on the Canadian boxing scene. Because I'm sure you'd agree that in Canada we have all the talent. They just need to be spotlighted,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? Like people like you, like you're gonna be making waves sooner than later, bro. Watch the movie now,
Yeah.
right? Don't wait, right? So, G, walk us through this, man. How did you get into boxing? Like, how did you discover it?
The thing is, like, since I was a kid, I'd always be watching boxing and I liked it. And then I kind of like lost interest for it until my brother, he got into it. And I saw his first fight. And then like, man, I gotta do this for myself. So I give thanks to my brother for motivating me again and lighting that fire up again. So that's pretty much the story of how I got into it.
Are you the oldest?
No, I'm younger.
Oh, you're young.
Yeah.
Is that the guy that you always go to the gym with?
Yeah, that's my older bro.
Hey, no hate. You look younger. No, he looks younger than you.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Yeah. I'm not hitting you or anything. I'm just saying. But I thought he was a little bro. But so he was the one that started boxing first.
Yeah, he started 1 year before I did, and then I got into it 1 year later.
Okay.
Nice. How much older is he?
It's 5 years difference.
5 year difference?
5 years difference.
Damn.
Damn, he Benjamin Button disease because I look like I'm older than him. Yeah, that's crazy.
He's blessed that way, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And you guys grew up in Calgary, is that right?
No. See, we were both born in Banff, and then like a few years later, I think it was 5 years later for me, we moved to Canmore, went to school in Canmore, grew up in Canmore, and that's where we got into boxing too.
Which boxing gym in Canmore did you go to? Is there even one?
It was a gym that opened up. It was pretty new when we signed up. It was Canmore Fight Club.
Okay.
And Nick Martin was a ex-Navy SEAL, so he had that Navy style boxing, and he taught us that. And it was pretty rough, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say because Canmore, obviously, Banff, even it's a town.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, although really really beautiful there, man. But yeah, I was just gonna say, not a lot of people in that, especially getting into the boxing scene in a small town. That's
the thing, man. Like even when I started, I was the only kid that was boxing, and I was sparring against 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, like old men, and I was beating them. So I'm like, man, maybe I got something.
You built for this, eh?
Yeah.
So G, what's like Navy style boxing? Like what kind of style is that?
What he taught us is always like basic guard up, always be first, put the pressure, and nice tight shell. That's what I understand is the army style boxing, I guess, because that's what he taught us.
And you kept that pressure.
To this day, man. Yeah, to this day.
Yeah, you damn right.
Yeah, right.
I know that.
Right. So growing up in Canmore, so I'm assuming, is that like a small town?
Really small.
Yeah, it's I think it's like 15 minutes away from Banff. They're both small towns in the mountains.
Damn, because I've never been to Canmore. You've been a few times.
You should, yeah.
It's beautiful, man.
It is, eh?
Yeah.
That's what I imagine with like smaller towns like that. There's like just the scenery and all that stuff. So growing up in Canmore, was there like, because we're colored folks.
Yeah.
That was my next question. We'll go ahead.
Was there a lot of like racism out
Man,
there? Like
I wasn't sure if I was gonna say this on the podcast, but yeah, like I was the only Latino, and they'd always say like I was Mexican, and I'd always be fighting these kids to say, because I was like, I'm not Mexican, I'm from El Salvador, and then we'd get into fights, and then I kind of got like a bad rep because I was always fighting all these kids, but yeah, man, it was kind of unfair, but you get used to it, I guess. You just gotta kind of adapt to your surroundings.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's racism. It's just they're just not used to that, I guess.
I agree.
You feel different.
You feel left out, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like probably everyone out there is the color of the walls. I'm gonna bleep that out a little bit just so we don't get canceled. Right,
Now
but-
it's different though, man. Like now there's all cultures and stuff out there. But back in those days, it was like you'd stand out.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. That's how like I kind of felt like back in my hometown.
Yeah.
Like where I grew up, it's called Langley in British Columbia.
Right.
And back then, like 10 years ago, I was the only colored Filipino kid.
Yeah.
And who did I hang out with? The brown boys.
Yeah.
Right? Did I fit in with the white boys? Hell no, man. Hell no. So like I feel that it's not necessarily because they're racist. Is it that they're just not used to seeing us?
Exactly.
Yeah, two different cultures. That's it.
Yeah. So like growing up, did you would you say you were you kind of like an angry kid? Would you say?
Yeah, I felt like I had to prove. I always had something to prove to everyone else. Like I always felt like the spotlight was on me to show them who I was. So yeah, I was always kind of angry, and like listening to Eminem didn't help either.
Man, Terrence Crawford, didn't it? Help Terrence Crawford, but I guess when you're in fight mode, yes.
Oh,
It
100%.
helps, but if you're not, you're not.
100%. And I'm assuming boxing was like an amazing outlet to get like a lot of the anger out and just keep you out of trouble, eh?
Yeah, it's like they say boxing builds character, and it really does. Because
Absolutely.
I was always like fighting in school. I was getting suspended. I was fighting on the street. Once I started boxing, I lost all interest in fighting outside of the ring. So I'm like, these guys aren't even a challenge. And I get in trouble.
Hey, that's true. Because, like, man,
That's
you
big.
know you can, like, just take these kids out if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, words are one thing, but when it's time to, like, actually fight, bro, I'll take you out 10 times out of 10. No, without a question, you know?
That's what we train for, man, all year. Just
Yeah. So that's why you're Olympus every damn week. You just want
Pretty
to
much.
you just want to get that anger. But no, I agree, man. It's number one, it's one avenue for you to, really express yourself and to actually just take the steam off, right? Because it's really like a lot of people here, like they're violent. Not saying you are, but a lot of people are violent, and what they do, they go to the streets,
Yeah.
beat up
Take it out
people,
there.
take it out on there rather than if you just go to the gym, take it all there. It builds character and it also builds discipline. So
yeah, for sure.
we just say that's like boxing helped you, like kind of save your life to that standpoint where like you're able to find peace in like boxing rather than fighting outside.
Yeah, I think so, man. Because like without boxing, I don't know. I don't know who I would be. Like I'm who I am because of boxing, and even like I've always been kind of hated upon. But when I had my first fight, then everybody was cheering my name, and it felt good. I'm like, people like me when I do this. So
Absolutely. Let's jump into that.
Yeah.
So your first fight, first amateur fight, you said. So how did that happen? When you trained, were you still in Canmore at the time, or you were already here?
my first fight was an exhibition, and that was in Canmore.
Okay.
And in that point, I was like almost like a town hero, I guess. In high school, everybody knew me for boxing. I was the only guy that boxed, and everybody that showed up was like cheering my name, and that's the first time I felt that energy.
How did it go? Like, what were the nerves?
I was pumped, man. And I've never actually felt nervous for a fight.
Wow.
Damn, that's
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Cause bro, how were you?
Oh,
on your first
wow.
fight?
It's- ooh, ooh.
Did you almost puke?
No, not at that point. I'll tell you a story later, but yeah, that's pretty big. So you were just pumped. How did it go?
I won pretty clearly. Yeah.
So exhibition, was that in Canmore?
Yeah, it was at the
Okay.
Canmore Fight Club.
So like, your first fight, you weren't nervous at all. One majority decision, I'm assuming, or was it UD? You remember?
I just got my hand raised, but it was an exhibition, so they didn't say like
Yeah,
they didn't say anything. They just raised my hand.
Yeah, so that must have been like just an exhilarating feeling. Like everyone's just cheering for you. You
Yeah.
won. After that, like, how many more amateur bouts do you have?
After that, it was like almost 5 years. I think almost 5 or 6 years until I started fighting again amateur.
Yeah.
And that was with Olympus, and I had my first fight at their club as well, and I won. And after that, I had 5 more fights. After those 5 fights, I decided to just go pro because I felt like I was getting old, and I don't really like the amateur scene. So
What
Pros where
don't
it's
you
at.
like? We'll talk about it now. What don't you like about the amateur scene here in Western Canada?
for me, man, it's like I never got a fair shake. Like I knew what I was capable of doing, and out of those 6 fights, I know I won 5 of them, and I only got credit for 2. So on my record, it says I have 2 wins, 4 losses, which isn't right because like when you lose, you know you lose. When you win, you know you win. You feel it.
Yeah.
Especially in the fight, yeah.
So like amateur, it's an amateur everything. Amateur judges, amateur refs, everything is amateur.
Yep.
And that's what I don't like. I like the professional scene.
Yeah, because the thing with like amateur boxing too is like a lot of these judges, it's like a weekend job for them.
They're
Yeah.
volunteers.
They're the
Not even a job.
casuals.
Yeah.
I would argue they're casuals.
Yeah.
Right. They don't really watch it.
No, they
sometimes
don't.
sometimes it gets swayed by the audience, right? And especially if it's like on home turf, it's like, oh, gee, messed the guy up, but that's my son.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it is, man.
Right? So I got he's winning, right?
One thing we got to talk corruption and not amateur boxing, obviously, but even in pros, you see that all. Like even the judges, like they probably haven't even boxed around in their life, but they're here to judge a boxer that's fighting. That's just me.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
let me ask you this, G. With boxing, how should it be judged?
See, for me, the best advice I could give anybody, first of all, is be your own judge. Don't let it go to the decision. Try to get that knockout because you never know what the judge is going to think, right? Because sometimes he'll choose his favorite from the start of the fight without anybody throwing any punches. He chooses the favorite. When the fight ends, he's going to go with his favorite. So I think it should be judged with people that actually have experience inside the ring and know what it's all about, not just people that choose who they want to win.
True. Good example of this. Remember the Pitbull Cruz fight? Did you see the Pitbull
Yeah, I
Cruz
did.
fight versus the guy that had his hands, the karate style dude from Wildcard? When I heard split decision, I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Imagine if Pitbull lost.
Yeah. Yeah. It was crazy. See, this is my problem with boxing. The judging. They're all opinions.
They can be bought too, right? Like
Yes.
it exists. That exists.
Money talks.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're all opinions. And yes, there is an A side and a B side
Yeah.
in boxing. And if you're the B side, you gotta rise through. You gotta fight all the odds to beat the guy, right? Or you gotta knock him out. See, we gotta change that, man. Something has to change where it has to be quantifiable. Where you can count the punches, but like there's got to be rules where
Like set criteria,
exactly,
basically.
Yeah.
exactly. Not just because literally I can watch and be like, if you're the judge, you watch and be like, okay, this guy won.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain,
Yeah.
or they have to explain why that guy won that round,
Exactly.
That's true.
like an explanation, right?
Very true.
So that's just me. If you can change.
Yeah, 100%. So going pro, man, would you say your style of fighting is made for the professionals?
I've always been told that. Like every time I fought amateur and they'd say I lost, people are like, "Man, you should be going pro. Your style's professional." And that's part of the reason why I would probably lose too, is because I choose in my shots. They're like cleaner shots, and then amateurs just like flurries of
Points.
punches. Yeah,
Points.
just throwing
Yeah.
the hands out there.
Yeah.
Which,
It's like Olympic style boxing Olympic style like boxing is made for the amateurs.
Yeah.
It's just where you just hit, run.
Exactly.
Run, hit, run. Whereas pro boxing, bro, it just takes one.
Yeah, Tank punches 6 punches around, still wins the fight, right? Knocks you out. So you went pro after 6 fights only. I'm assuming you're not even open in the amateur.
no, I never went open.
So you went from 2-minute rounds in the amateur straight to 3-minute rounds.
Yeah.
In your first pro fight in El Salvador, right?
Yeah, I went to debut in El Salvador because of that same reason that I only had 6 fights. Nobody would
Okay.
give me a shot here in Canada.
That was my next
Yeah,
question.
to go pro.
So going to El Salvador, man, what other than that reason that no one's taking you here, like why do that?
Well, because I got the opportunity, and it's like I have this opportunity now, and if I let it slide, I might not get it again. So I went for it, and man, when I showed up there, like the energy from the people and the love I got, I liked it, right? And that's why I'm going back, and pretty soon I'm gonna go back and fight there again. And for my second fight, I went back again, and I'm just kind of building on my record down there and see where it takes me.
TKO, first fight,
First
right?
fight?
How many
Yeah.
rounds was it?
It was a 4-round fight, and I got the TKO in a minute 30 of the third round. In all honesty, man, like I could have knocked the guy out in the first round, but I was just testing the waters out, seeing what it's all about. I started having fun. By the second round, I was just having fun. Third round, I threw a flurry at him, and I was ready to start throwing haymakers when the ref jumped in and just stopped it.
Just ready to pounce.
You think that's it? You think that's it?
Yeah,
That's sick. So do you have family members still back home at El Salvador?
it's like probably like 70% of my family's still down there.
Oh damn! Did they come
Yeah.
out to watch?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that must have been sick. That must have been
Yeah.
just a sick feeling, just like having your whole family out there too.
Yeah. It was nice for sure.
How was the whole experience? Was there a lot of people watching? Was it like a closed off arena where it's just like the fighters and that's it? How is it out in El Salvador?
There was a lot of people. There wasn't as much as in events that you see like on TV and stuff, but the amount of people that were there made it feel like there was thousands of people in the room, and like they were treating me like a celebrity. Like when I got out of the ring, they were asking for pictures, autographs, and cameras all over the place.
Yeah.
Interviews, man. It felt really cool.
You're a superstar. And
That's what motivates me too, man. It fuels me, that the faith that they got in me, the faith that the people put in me, that they have faith that I can be the next world champion. That's what really motivates me to do it.
I have to ask you this, because me, when being here from Canada, going to the when I went to the Philippines to play ball, they didn't consider me as Filipino. So is that the same where you are bloodline, obviously El Salvadorian, but you're not from there technically? Like how did that, like, is it a little different, or did they treat you like an actual local, or like you were a foreigner to them?
No, they always welcome you and everything, but you always feel that like they'll make a comment or something and make it obvious that you're not 100% Salvadoran, which I am, because like my parents are from there, but they don't view you that way. So when I fought that time, I felt like I was on the B side.
Okay.
That's why I fought extra hard. So even there's always that like it's like a stigma that you're not from a country if you're not born in the country. So yeah, you can definitely feel it.
Yeah, that's true. I feel that sometimes too, man.
That's what you had to prove.
I guess I represent like people like us, that we're born in other countries, but our bloodline comes from another place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're not a true like this race.
Finding
like,
the identity.
Yeah.
We're something else.
Like
exactly.
you're not, like in our case, we're not Filipino to be in the too Filipino to be in the Philippines, but we can't be Canadian to be in Canada because we're not.
It's like, where do we belong?
We're not the color of my door. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what I've been told, man. I'm like, you're not from Canada. I go back home, like, okay, well, you're not from El Salvador.
Where the hell am I from?
Yeah, right.
Then I go to Mexico and all inclusive. You're from here.
I say, Jefe, papi, how are you? It's like, whoa, it's home.
You gotta find your home.
Right. So the promotion that you're with, Roca Promotions.
Yeah.
Walk us through it, man. How did you get acquainted with them? How did they find you? Walk us through that.
For my second fight, they were the ones behind that event. They were starting out, and that event almost didn't happen, but we worked together and we made it happen in like 1 week. We put it together. I fought the local champ from Guatemala. He was 4-0, and I beat him. It was a good fight. I beat him, and then the promoter was there. And a few months later, he messaged me and he asked me if I would be interested in joining his promotion and representing his promotion. So from there on out, I went down and met with him. We talked a bit, and now we're here.
You said you made history.
Oh yeah, man.
Talk about that, man.
Yeah, I guess I'm the first international athlete or boxer to sign a contract in El Salvador. So, because El Salvador, it's not really big for boxing, but it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And we're making history right now.
Dude.
Start, man. You gotta start somewhere.
Hell yeah. That's going to be sick, bro. We could have fly out to El Salvador for you. What's your next fight again? December 16th, right?
December 16th.
Do you know who your opponent is yet?
Yeah, he's gonna be a debuter, but he's good. Like, he was on the national team, so it won't be an easy fight.
From El Salvador too?
Yeah, from El Salvador.
So do you feel like you're gonna be in the B side on this time around, or just because he's from there and he's an like a national team, or would you say you are? You're the A side now.
Man, I always, even if I found out I was on the A side, I'm always gonna feel I'm on the B side. It's just how I feel. I'm always gonna be on the B side, and that's what pushes me to win. Because technically, I'm Roca Promotions' only fighter, and it's their event, right? So it would make sense I'd be A side.
I was just gonna say.
But you never know in boxing, so.
Absolutely, man. To have that underdog mentality is always real good. A lot of pro fighters, like for example, Manny Pacquiao, every time you ask them, like, what do you think about, let's say it's a Chris Algieri fight where he's not as good. He's like, I always train like I'm on the B side. Like, I'm always the underdog. So to have that mentality, man, that's really big. And I think that's going to get you to a lot of places, especially in boxing.
Agreed, man. You can never be too comfortable. Yeah, like you said, especially in boxing, because when you start like being comfortable with your training.
For Tyson Fury.
Oh, buddy.
The thing is, man, like, it's a fight, right? The guy's trying to knock your head off. So you got to take it serious. Every fight is more serious than the last one. Every fight is more important. That's how I view it anyway.
Yeah, because like we preach this all the time. You can't play boxing.
No, you don't play boxing.
You don't play boxing, bro.
No.
Dude, you can get seriously hurt. You got knocked out. You'll get concussion.
Yeah, you get messed up for life if you don't know how to keep your hands up.
Yeah.
That's so true.
It's crazy. You see it a lot in pros. Like, you think they don't play boxing, but I don't know if it's just their performance, but sometimes you can tell if they didn't really prepare much, right?
Yeah. I'm going to take it completely way off. Do you know who does play boxing? Jamal.
Yeah, he's playing us right now. Man.
That's so bad, man. So going back to your pro.
He's playing himself. He's paying a lot of money he's paying to
himself,
fight.
man.
What the
Yeah,
hell? He's a pro. He's
100%.
paying to fight.
That's
Right?
fake.
100%. With Roca Promotions, how does the contract work when you sign on with them? I'm always curious with how these things work. Like, do you sign on with on a fight contract? Is it for a year contract? Like, what do these boxing contracts look like?
It all depends on your promoter and what they offer you. It could be a 1-year contract. It could be a 5-fight contract, or it depends how big the promoter is and what they offer you. In this case, Roca Promotions is just starting out. It's their first year, so they've offered me a 1-year contract, and they're gonna help me out with my expenses and build me up, promote my name, and try to build my career. So that's what I've signed on to do.
Hold on, this is big.
Yeah.
Because, bro, if you're the first one,
Yeah.
And then
it's just hitting me now. I'm like, bro, watch it like a year from now, dog.
You're the OG, bro.
Yeah, I have faith in that promotion, and I have faith that boxing's gonna grow in El Salvador, and this is just the first step.
Okay, how did you first find your fight in El Salvador?
It was actually I messaged the matchmaker, and I lost faith because he never got back to me, and then I think it was 3 months later he messaged me and he offered me a fight, and it was 1 month in advance notice. And then when he told me it was pro, that was a 2-week notice. So I'm like, man, I gotta take this opportunity now or never, and I did, and I don't regret it.
So hold up, let me get this straight. So he offered you a fight 1 month in advance?
Yeah, he mentioned it, but he never said if it was pro or amateur. And then
And they told you pro 2 weeks before.
yeah, 2 weeks out. Now I'd already agreed and everything, so I'm like, man, I'm just gonna go for it.
Maybe it was the guy that you're fighting. He's like, are you still amateur or pro? He's like, give me 2 weeks.
No, he already had 3 fights.
Oh, so he's okay. So
yeah, he had
they-
3 fights.
They just couldn't find a guy, I guess.
Oh yeah, I don't know, man. It's just destiny.
Yeah, it happened, but here you are. Knocked him out. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Dude, what I'm thinking, they probably thought you're gonna be like a B-side kind of they probably think you're gonna be like
Like a feeder fish.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, but then lo and behold, G walks in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you were gonna be the one that was supposed to get knocked out by that guy that you fought the first fight, but hey, that's why you're the underdog,
So
bro.
how did you get in contact with how do you find these guys? Because I know with a lot of people that do want to go pro,
Yeah.
they just don't have the opportunity. How did you find this matchmaker?
I was messaging matchmakers in here in Canada, in the States, and then I saw they had done an amateur boxing event with a few pro fights in El Salvador, and then I messaged the guy that organized the event. He gave me the numbers of the matchmaker. Then I messaged him, and then, like I said, 3 months later he got back to me. So all I can say is it's just destiny, man.
Bro,
But let's talk about that struggle, because that's what we're here for, man. Obviously, we're not pro boxers, so it's really hard for us to say. But coming from someone that's pro now, how hard was it before you got this contract? How hard was it for you to actually find these matchmakers or secure that contract?
Well, put it this way, the last time I fought was last year, December 16th.
That was your last amateur?
My last
pro fight, okay.
And all this year I've been trying to get a fight. I've been training all year, and I haven't got anything. So it's pretty hard, man. You'll message these guys, and they'll look at your record, and if it's too good, they won't accept it. They want somebody to bring their guys up, right? So if you don't have a promoter, it's pretty hard.
That's a struggle, because if you don't have the promoter and you message these guys have their own guys that they're trying to build up.
Yeah, or they're gonna offer you a crazy fight, like a 8-round fight with a guy that's 10-0, just to build their guy up.
Well, so you are gonna be the feeder fish, is what.
Yeah, I got a few of those offers too, but it's not the smartest move if you want to build your career up and make it somewhere.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's there's 5 steps up right away.
Exactly, you got to recognize where you're at, and I know I'm not at the 8-round level yet, but I'll get there.
When you first start, it's 3 minutes or 4? Is it 4? It's 3. It's 3 minute, 4 rounds, correct?
That's correct.
And then how many fights does it take to get up to 8? Is it?
It's all, man, in pro, it's all. You could debut with a 6-round fight. They recommend you to start with
Damn.
5
That's
fights
a lot of fights.
with 4 rounds. 5 fights with 4 rounds, and then from there you kind of go up to 6. After that you go up to 8, and after that you go up to 10. It's how it usually goes, but you can skip all that.
It all depends. Yeah, it's pro, man. If they give you a contract, you want to do 10 rounds, and you say then you have to
Exactly.
do 10 rounds.
Yeah. Once you sign that contract, then that's all it is.
The fights you have so far have only been 4 rounds, right? Do you feel like you could do 8 if you wanted to?
I
at this
could,
time,
I could, but like if I do, then I'm not going to be fighting at 100%. So I like to train when I fight. When I fight 4 rounds, I like to train like usually 8 rounds of sparring or 12.
Yeah.
So I know that even after the fight's over, I can keep going. But if I were to do an 8 round fight right now, I'm like, I know I'm not sure what I'm going to look like.
That's what it comes with preparation, but again, it's also experience, right? The more fights you get on your name, then the more you'll be ready.
Yeah.
What's the plan now? Now that you secured your fight December 16th, you already have like a timeline on when your next fight's gonna be after this, or you just take it fight by fight for now?
They were saying something about March. So
Okay, so it'll be like now that you signed with this promotion, it'll be more consistent now.
Yeah, and it's gonna be, I think, not only in El Salvador, but like maybe in the States or neighboring countries.
So we just say this will make your job easier, and now you're focused more on training rather than just you finding your own matches, because that's what they're gonna do for you.
Yeah,
right?
it's a lot less stressful because like you're trying to train and manage yourself and look for fights and stuff. It's not easy.
Gee, this is why it's important to get that manager, right, or the promotion. So
Yeah, because a lot of fighters, like, well, that we know, they're all self-managed.
yeah,
And like it takes away time from like them actually doing the important stuff.
yeah,
Especially working like I have a full-time job, so I'm working like 10-12 hour shifts, and then I go to the gym, and then I have to deal with like talking with the matchmakers and finding opponents and stuff.
And that's a job in itself.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to talk a little bit about your training. Like, how often do you personally spar?
Man, I don't really have
Don't
a
lie.
schedule for that. I don't have a schedule for that, but like,
I don't really have a schedule because I do it every day.
yeah, I've done it. There's been months where I've sparred like 5 days a week. When I'm getting ready for a fight, it's usually like 2 to 3 days a week. So it'd be like Wednesday, Saturday, or sometimes Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Because I don't like to go too crazy. But if I'm not training for a fight, I'd spar every day.
Let me get your as a pro fighter, like getting ready for a fight. You say you spar about 2 to 3 times a week. Are those going to be like 2 to 3 hard sparring sessions?
Yeah, I always spar hard when I'm getting ready for a fight. I don't like to spar
Okay.
light.
Okay.
Just to have that mentality, because I'm going into a fight, so I like to keep it at that pace.
Absolutely.
True.
And you do like usually double the rounds that what you're going to do. So if it's 4, then you do 8.
Yeah, I try to.
Okay.
Damn. That's heavy. Bro, and you're telling me to spar G right now.
And Ray's getting ready for a fight.
Exactly right.
Hey, he works for me. I'm watching.
Yeah, you have a tweaked shoulder. You can't get
can't
none of the
help my
smoke, bro. As far as like cardio goes, would you say sparring is the best way to build cardio as a pro boxer?
I find there's different kinds of cardio. Like I can go, let's say 12 rounds sparring, but then if I go for a run, it's a little bit different. I have to start again. It's like you build up different types of cardio.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
yeah, for sure, my favorite is sparring because it keeps you honest and it lets you know where you're at, and then you can pace yourself too.
That's true. That's very true. Because like I remember every time I spar, I throw the kitchen sink every single time. You know?
It's just repetition, like anything. Like even with pad work, it's kind of a different kind of cardio you're using because it's more like explosive.
Yeah.
Jogging is more no breaks. Sparring, you can have a little bit more of a break, and then you can throw your flurry back up, or it's all
true.
different.
That's true. Because I remember when I used to when I used to train in Muay Thai, my coach was saying, I asked my coach, how do I build my gas tank? He's like, Marbin, you go for run 10K. Don't worry about time. We'll focus on pace. I'm like, pace? Okay. So I do my 10K runs every single day. I go into sparring, and I'm still gassing
After
out.
one run.
Yeah, I'm like, what the?
Totally different.
Yeah, no, you're right. You do have to build your different types of cardio because there is that fast, and then break.
Yeah.
And then there's times where it's like you're just at a steady pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure though, man. Sparring is the best one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love sparring as long as you're not getting your ass whooped every time. But yeah. No, I agree. It builds your cardio a different way. Because I like right now, because I just had my fight, I can spar for a bit, but I can't run. Like, man, if I do 5K, once I reach 1, I'm like, bro, this is tiring. It's totally different. So I agree.
it's a mental game though.
Exactly. That's where conditioning comes in. Like you do your conditioning to make your mind stronger too, and realize what you're capable of doing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this with because I'm big on like mindset. I love like the fighter's mind. how do you mentally prepare yourself to go to war? Like for example, fight day.
For me, it's really like it comes down to I like to pray a lot, you know, and I get closer to God before a fight. I feel like I get really close to God, and I feel like that's where my strength comes from. And I know that going into that ring, I'll be protected. And I'm like, man, if I go into this ring and the guy can't hurt me, then I'm going to hurt him for sure. So my mindset is at all costs, just stay protected and win. Protect
All
myself.
costs, stay
Bro,
protected.
That's the one. I gotta clip that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Warrior, G Warrior. So on your hat.
Yeah, man.
How'd you get that name? You had to take a sip.
Here we go.
If you watch my fights, like the style I fight is like I go to war all the time, and I always make a show. People always expect a war. So then that was actually my father who said one day, like, man, you're a warrior. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. So that it just stuck after that day.
G Warrior. That's a good name.
And
It's catchy.
that's what I like too, bro. Because like people want to see fights,
Yeah.
right? They want to see a scrap. They
Yeah.
want to see fists fly.
Yep.
They want to see people get knocked out.
Shakur.
Shakur, yeah,
Boring fight
wait,
last
you
week, but go
damn,
ahead.
right? But they want to see that they, like these type of fights, bro. And that's why, like, bro, with the promoter that you're on now, you can go far, dude.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm really hoping for. Just keep winning and giving good fights and see where that takes me.
And so, G, I want to ask you this. You know, being from Canada, struggling to get fights as a pro boxer, you know, manage yourself for 2 of your fights. You know, what advice or what do you think that we can do better here in Canada for us for all the other upcoming pro boxers to not have that issue anymore?
I think Canada has to focus a little bit less on the amateur and focus more on the professional, because like that's where the future's at. And also like go over the people that are in charge and make sure that they know what they're doing.
Facts, dude.
It's actually so good because
It's true.
I mean, not to say to kill the amateur boxing scene, but that's true. I've
Because I
seen.
feel like Canada should have a lot more world champions than what we do have, what we recognize. And like there's a lot of talent here, but we don't get the support we need.
And on top of that, all the world champions in Canada are from Quebec.
Yeah, that's another, because like Quebec, that's where, I think in Canada, that's where boxing is at. It's like the Las Vegas from Canada.
Absolutely.
For boxing.
That's true.
Yeah,
very
that's true.
Yeah, because the thing with a lot of amateur boxers, like a lot of them have like crazy records. They fought like 67 times. They have 4 losses, whatever. They want to go pro, but they don't have the backing.
They
get
don't have the
opportunity.
backing here. They got to go somewhere.
Yeah,
El Salvador.
exactly.
They have to go to Mexico. And, you know, it's not to say it's not good, but why can't you just do it here? Your own backyard.
Right? Instead of flying 6 hours to fight, we'll just drive 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, in a perfect world.
Focus
Yeah.
more on the pro scene rather than the amateur, because that's your future. I agree.
Facts, man. Now, let me ask you this. Now that you've gone through the ropes, you've gone through many fights, you know how this life is, right? As a fighter. If you can give young G some advice, or any younger fighters that want to, young G some advice, or any younger fighter that wants to be on the come up, like what would you give as advice?
My advice is just, if you have a dream, chase it. Because like, it's not, a lot of people think it's like something out of a movie. They say like dreams come true, but they do come true. So keep on believing, chase it. And another thing is, don't focus on your age. A lot of people, they might get to like, let's say 25 years old. They're like, oh, I'm too old. You're never too old to be someone. So the best advice I'd give myself would be to like, just keep fighting and keep going and keep believing in your vision.
I agree
Ooh.
with that. I agree with that, bro. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Mike, drop that, yo. Because the thing is, man, like for a lot of the young dreamers too, even like us, like there are times when it's gonna be like shit. We're not gonna be seeing what we want to see. We're not gonna be going to where we want to go. But as long as we have that like firm belief in our vision of where we want to go, how we're gonna get there, who we're gonna be, and we stay true to it, bro, you'll make it.
Yeah, man. Especially in boxing, all it takes is one fight. You don't know which fight it's gonna be, but just be ready.
Yeah.
Fight the fight, and then see what happens after that fight.
Yeah.
Agreed, man. Agreed. You never know in this industry. Because, like,
Yeah.
for you, example, bro, one fight in, promoter saw you.
That's what I'm saying. His
Right?
third fight,
It
he's
takes
already
one.
signed.
I guess I'm pretty lucky, man. But I thank God for all that. Like that's another thing. Like when I became a pro, I feel like I got a lot closer to God, and I give him thanks for where I'm at right now.
Man.
Bro, that brings us back to the gratitude series,
There you
man.
go.
Everything comes back with
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
See what happens now? You get signed.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's very true, man.
Wrapping up here, man. Do you have any questions before we ask the last question here?
No, that was my last one, man. Yeah, I wanted to hear that like from the heart kind of stuff, you know?
That was
Real
good,
talk.
Real talk, exactly.
So December 16th in El Salvador, it'll be your third pro fight.
Yeah.
What city?
It's gonna be in a city outside of San Salvador. It's called Antiguo Cuscatlan.
Roca Promotions. Is that going to be televised?
From what I understand, they're trying to get it televised in like Central America, United States, and Canada.
Okay.
But for sure, if it's not, there's gonna be a live.
Okay.
Oh,
I was just going to
perfect.
say, yeah, just let us know the link. We'll plug it in so, you know, we from here can watch that fight,
Oh hell
obviously.
yeah, for
Be
sure.
sick, huh? I'll be down.
The next fight in Vegas, you know,
Oh,
tickets. Tickets.
yeah, it's coming.
You heard it here first. But no, thanks for having us. Oh, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you guys.
I mean, thanks for having us on our show too. But before we go, man, we just want to ask this last question. We ask everyone, who should be our next guest in this podcast? And obviously, you have to help us get that person.
I follow up on Ken Polinas' story a lot, and
Yeah.
he just had a big fight, so I'd like to see what he has to say about that experience.
Absolutely,
I think it should be
man.
Ken.
100%. We should run it back.
We'll get
Ken.
it back, bro. 'Cause
Yeah, man.
It's his story is amazing. Going from second fight as a 6th rounder, going to the enemy's home turf, still got the W. So we'll get it back. We'll see him actually this
Yeah,
week.
we'll see you around, KP. Awesome. Well, G, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to come hang out with us, especially during fight camp. It seems like every fighter we almost have is like on
That's
fight
true.
camp. You notice that?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
good luck charm.
100%, man. 100%. So we're pumped to see you fight on December 16th. And we truly admire like your story, your upbringing, and we can truly see you being like big in the community, not just in the boxing scene, but good for the Calgary scene as well, because we
Yeah.
need more homegrown talent, man.
Definitely.
Yeah,
bro.
for sure. When I go fight there, man, I'm always representing the city too,
There you
and
go.
the country. So
Yes, sir.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, again, G, thank you so much for being on the Triple M podcast. My name is MP,
My name is SB.
and we got.
G Warrior Hernandez.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Until
We're out.
next time.